Steven, I had to take the pink pill the other night. It's 3:15 in the morning, actually 3:16 to be exact. Pink pill. I'll explain more on the show if your ears can handle it. Pink pill.
Steven, so any idea what the pink pill is and what it does?
Are you going into the Matrix? Or just take the blue pill?
I'm not going into the Matrix, no.
Antacid.
Close. When you're traveling to other countries, there's times where you might not feel good in the stomach area, and they give you this pink pill just in case, that it's supposed to knock it straight out just if that does happen. And unfortunately for me, I woke up at like 3:14 or 3:16 a.m. and accurate. And didn't feel good.
Glad I know that.
Yeah, I didn't feel good. But I was thinking, I'm like, I have the pink pill. I'm like, what did the doctor tell me about the pink pill? Do I take it? When do I take it? What is it supposed to do?
It's Pepto-Bismol, pretty much, right?
Well, it's the industrial strength, like Imodium type thing. And it worked, because what she said is, if it's a virus and you take this, it's not going to do anything. But if it's just a momentary, temporary thing, then it will help you, because it has like I don't know, whatever it is, it helps you, and it definitely helped. But I will say, the next morning, we had a hour and a half drive, followed by an hour and a half in an airplane, and I chose not to eat in the morning. Ooh. Because I didn't want to risk being in an hour and a half drive and then being in a plane without a bathroom in it. So I had to make sure that everything was fine. Ah, fuck! I just got hit in the face with a bug.
I saw that.
Son of a bitch!
He just kamikazed right into your eye.
Fuck you, bug! I need that eye. Get out of my computer, you dick.
Your stomach hurts. Now your face hurts.
No, I'm in the media tent right now, out here in the Marimara. What's it called? The Marimara? Masamara? It's not like Hare Krishna or anything. It's the Mashamara.
You're terrible with the names.
Yeah, I'm really bad with the names. But I'm in the media tent because this is where I have internet, so this is where people hang out. Thankfully, the Germans just retreated back to their rooms.
Well, explain that.
Well, everybody congregates around here because this is where the internet is, and everybody can get internet. But in your room, it says you have 3G, but you really don't have 3G, and so you basically have no internet and you have no connection.
It's 2G Edge from 2008.
No, it's not very good. Yeah. But when you get into the media tent, this is where we can charge our batteries, because there's no charging in the room. Now, if I didn't explain this last time, actually I didn't explain it last time because we didn't stay in the tents yet. We had a flooding issue, and that's why they put us in a different place. But now we're in this tent area, and each camp we've stayed at has been very similar. There's these tents, and they do the food, and it's more authentic to a camping experience, but slightly higher end, because they're really nice tents. They're very nice tents. And there's a bucket shower, which I talked about on my Instagram, where they heat water and they put it into this bucket, they raise it, and you get like 3 minutes to shower with hot water.
I'm used to that when I used to do all the festivals back in the day. Camping out.
But I know you take like 48-minute showers, so you wouldn't do too well out here.
I needed a lot of those buckets.
Steven would be in the bucket. Steven would be having a bucket brigade outside of his shower, constantly bringing buckets.
Next
They'll be
bucket.
boiling water nonstop.
Bring the buckets.
So I should tell you, I have a live studio audience today here in Kenya.
Hyenas? Lions?
No, we got Nick, we got Jason, and we have somebody in witness protection who I'm not allowed to say who it is.
Very nice.
He's practicing some visual stimulation right now over there in the corner. He said hi. He said, "Hi, Steven."
Oh, hey, mystery person.
Yeah, mystery person. The tents and everything. I mean, I like having a studio audience. It's nice, but they're not really laughing right now, so I don't. They're all busy editing their photos from the trip. Hey, mystery man, how many photos did you shoot this trip so far? Ballpark. Oh, wait, without saying it, wait. Whisper down the lane to Jason, because we don't want anybody to recognize your voice. 19,000. They've taken 19,000. Nick, how about you?
I'm probably only in there at like 10,000.
He's only taken 10,000 because he's using a shitty Nikon.
Wow,
it's
only 10,000. Jeez.
Yeah, only 10,000. Jason, how about you?
About 20.
Jason's about 20.
What are you at?
Let's see. Math.
I'm going to guess you are at 13,327.
No, I'm at 19,000.
Really?
I'm right around 19,000, yeah. Well, it's a lot of three, and that's counting. No, that's counting 20 some hundred from the A93, which I only used once, and you totally chew up cards when you're banging out shots with those.
Because you're going 120.
Well, yeah, 100, and no, I never did. I didn't do any 120. It was all the pre-shooting that took up the space. But let me preface some things. We're going to talk about my trip so far because I leave tomorrow to come back to the United States. I've been here for almost 2 weeks.
How many weeks?
2 weeks. But I want to get back to Nick here, who has a Nikon Z9, a Z9 to be exact. He's deciding which direction he wants to go. Does he like interns?
Is he definitely going either Canon or Sony? Like, has he made up his mind based on this trip?
No, he's not sure whether he wants to go. He's not sure whether he wants to go Canon or Sony. It might be whichever ones have the hottest interns.
Okay.
That's an inside joke. It's one of those things that you had to be here to know it. You had to be here. It's just one of the, I'm learning that.
It's
one of
typical
those things.
Jared, private jokes in public places that nobody gets unless you were there.
No, exactly. No, but he's trying to decide. I think he's leaning towards the Canon right now because of body size, the size of the body and the battery. Bigger battery is basically what for what he shoots. That's something we've been talking about for a while here is trying to fucking bugs, get off of me.
Another one.
God damn.
They're going after you.
They are. These bugs are all over the place. Did someone leave the tent door open? Mystery person? Was it the Germans? Always leaving the door open when they retreat.
How much bug spray have you put on this entire trip?
I have not put on any bug spray at all, Steven. It hasn't. The bugs haven't been bad.
Really?
No, the bugs haven't been bad at all. It's the weather here is anywhere from 62 degrees to 82 degrees, and it's been. We've been in a bunch of different climates, and it's rained a few times where we're at right now in the Mara. What's this place called? Masai Mara. I'm not good with names.
Are you able to wash clothes at all during this entire trip?
Steven, wash clothes. I am still wearing the original set.
That's why I'm asking. Because you're wearing the same shirt every day.
Yeah, I only brought two of these safari shirts and 2 pairs of these pants.
How they smell?
I'm still wearing. They smell fine.
Sniff test right now.
They smell fine. They did put me in my own tent, but they do feel fine.
I wonder why they put you in your own tent.
No, they put me in my own tent because at the last place we stayed, we've been staying like 3 to a tent and 2 to a tent. So it's been me, Nick, and Matt. We had this awesome family tent, and then we went to the next camp, and it was a regular size tent, and it was missing a bed. So there was like a queen size and a twin, and they're like, oh, 2 share. And we're like, no, that's not how we do it. So they bring in a bed, which was like a couple of wood slats with a cushion on it. And I did it one night, and I'm like, guys, this is not going to work. And so they moved me into my own place. And then when we came to the new place, this one, they have a family tent, and all 4 of those guys decided to just take beds. They didn't even talk about it. There's no discussion. Jared walks in, everybody picked a bed. They're like, you're going to go by yourself. And I had this thing, like when I was younger, I have this fear of being left out. And they brought that irrational fear. So here I am walking all alone to tent number 4, where there might be a lion.
The loser's tent.
Waiting for me. Yeah, the loser's tent. Fuck you, Steven. You're not even here.
It's first come, first serve, though. You get dibs. Whoever sees it first.
Well, see, it's Matt, right? Matt's not here because he's like Mike Kelly when it comes to sleep. He wants
20
12
hours.
Yeah, he wants like 12 hours. He's like, I'm fading fast. I'm fading. But he was late to the truck today. I was the first one there. He's supposed to be first.
So he's the first one to bed and the last one out of bed?
Nah, I mean, he gets up. Mystery Man, are you looking to go to bed now? Yeah, Mystery Man's tired. He falls asleep in the car all the time. I look over and he's snoring.
Well, that's because Mystery Man doesn't sleep.
Well, yeah, that's true. Steven speaking truths, Mystery Man. He says you don't sleep more than like 3 hours a night.
That's true.
And he says that's true. He says that's true. But no, I'm just busting Matt's balls because they're pretty easy to bust. They're definitely pretty easy to bust. So they've been in their own tent. I've been in my own tent here at this place.
Did you know all these guys before you went out on the trip?
No. I only met Matt once in person this year when I was with Manny Ortiz when we shot a game with the Cubs because he's the Cubs team photographer. I met Jason, who is the Royals team photographer. Great story, by the way, on how Jason, do you want to tell the story? Do you want to go on air and tell the story? Can you do it? What, are you afraid? Are you afraid?
Not afraid.
Do you want me to tell it?
Go ahead.
Jason has a really cool story because he was getting photos taken of his was it your firstborn?
Yes.
Firstborn. So he went to a photographer. He told her that he wants this one specific photo. Please make sure you get it. And they're going through the process and she's taking all these photos and he's like, did you get that photo? And she's like, oh, I forgot I didn't do it. So she goes, she takes like one picture and she's like, I got it. And he's like, you sure? She's like, I got it. And then she delivers all the photos. It wasn't Tiny Toes, by the way, but he delivers all the she delivers all the photos and he's like, where's that photo? So he picks up the phone and he's like, motherfucker, where the fuck is the photo that I asked for? You fucked up. I'm going to come kill you, Ron. Is that about right?
I don't know about that last part.
That's actually not what happened. But no, so the photos were messed up and no, she didn't do the photo that he wanted.
What was the photo that he wanted?
It was. I didn't think he explained what the photo of his son was doing, but he wanted that, and she couldn't do it. So I believe. Did you go back to your wife and she's like, "What are you going to do about this?" Did you grab a gun?
No.
He didn't grab a gun. So this is where you decided to buy a camera?
Yes.
So he decides to try it himself. He buys a camera. Do you have any guess what his first camera was?
What year is this?
2010, correct? 2012. 2012.
Canon 5D Mark III.
No, Nikon D3. Starts with a D3.
Matt has some money, is what you're saying.
Steven's asked, did you have a lot of money?
Not necessarily.
No, he didn't have it. He was working. He was a working man.
Let me just go out and buy a $6,000 camera.
It wasn't $6,000 at that time.
All right, what was it? 5,500, 5,000?
So he starts taking photos. He starts learning from some amazing YouTuber by the name of me. And he learned how to change lenses because of one of the early videos. He's like, so that's how you do it, which is kind of funny. But the story gets even better because he's just shooting pictures. And I believe the neighbor's wife comes over. The neighbor's wife comes over. And did she say, you know what my husband does?
No, she asked if.
Oh.
She said he needed an assistant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The wife comes over and says, hey, my husband needs an assistant. Are you available? And he's like, well, what does he do? And this is where you say what he does. He's the Royals team photographer.
Wow.
So his neighbor, who he's had dinner with for 6 years, 6 years, 6 years. I'm getting my facts correct today. 6 years. He's like, you didn't even tell me what you did. So long story short, he starts assisting. Oh no, he has to decide. This is even better. His wife, he's asked to decide. It's going to take a pay cut if he goes and does this job, assisting at the Royals. And the wife is like, look, you can always go back to sucking dick if it doesn't work out.
What?
That's not true. That's not. I just wanted to hear the reaction of
I
all
wish
the
I could. I
peanut
can't
gallery
hear.
over here.
I have the Zoom compression on, so I can't hear anything but you.
No, so he had a pretty good job that he liked, but this was an opportunity that he couldn't pass up. And the wife was like, "You should really go for it because you can always go back to doing that other thing."
Very cool.
Which is not sucking dick.
I figured it wasn't.
But anyway, he assists the guy for a couple of years, and the guy's going to retire, and he gets the gig. It's pretty amazing.
Very cool.
That's a pretty amazing story, right?
All because of that lady.
Yeah, all because of that lady who sucked. And he thanked her one day without upsetting her by telling her why he got into photography. But it's kind of probably how you got into photography.
I mean, it all comes down to, like, I think I can do it better than you and let me try it myself. You know, it's the same thing with you doing internet videos for the first time, you know? I think I can teach better than Joe Schmo. And look where you're at now, Africa.
Yeah, well, let me correct everything. I keep saying I'm in Africa. Well, that's like saying you're in the United States without actually pinpointing it. I'm in Kenya.
You talked about this last week.
I did? Yeah. I talked about it last week?
Yep.
I didn't listen to the podcast, so I have no idea what we talked. I know we talked about dong. I will, now that you bring that up, Stephen, there has not been, I repeat, a lot of dong occurrences here in the last week. The other guy, the British guy, there's a British guy, he got some ostrich dong. I didn't know ostriches had dongs. I have not seen any recent dong.
Was it a big bird?
It was an ostrich bird. Definitely a big bird. But speaking of British guy, most of the people here have been great. The British guy. So it's kind of cool. What I like about this is you're in a different, like a camp situation. You're meeting people from all over the world. They're staying in the same place. And it's only like 13 or 12 total people, if that. And you have dinners together and you have lunches together and you talk and you learn and you interact. And that's been cool. So he's fun. His wife's fun. But did I talk about the French people last week? No, because we weren't there yet.
No.
There were French people at the camp we went to. These French fucks. They came in on bicycles. So they were doing like a bicycle. They rode 800 kilometers.
How pretentious.
Yeah, no, they were pretentious. One of them has, not that there's anything wrong with it, has blue toenails with sparkles. If that tells you anything.
Wow. Not being friends with that person.
The reason I'm yelling at them, upset with them, is like you sit around a table, right, for lunch. And usually when you sit around the table, you don't ignore the people that are at the table. You're like, hey, how are you? How's your day going? These fuckers ignored us. And when they got up to leave, they didn't say goodbye. That was just one thing. That was the first time they rubbed me the wrong way.
Do they not speak English?
They spoke English. I hear they speak multiple languages, but they chose to speak French so that we couldn't understand them. And then we're at dinner, and they got like a second helping. They got like pasta. I didn't know this was even an option. And they got like extra meat and stuff. And we're talking amongst ourselves. And I was like, wow, how'd they get more? And the guy turns and he looks, he go, we asked for more. Just like that. We asked for more. And that was that. And they weren't very good. They're not very nice, the French people.
Meanwhile, they're probably standing right outside your tent.
No, they're not with us anymore. They've been banished because they refused to pay. They were being a little pretentious pricks. They wanted discounts. They didn't want to pay. They didn't leave tips, and they weren't very nice to anybody. And that's why my dislike meter was going off heavily for those guys, because they were just, everybody knew it. They were just mean Frenchies. And not all French people are mean. Just these French people, they were dicks. They dropped them at somewhere and let them ride their bikes away. But we've had other cool guests. We've got this lady and her son from Australia. She has her 11-year-old here.
Oi!
He gave me some chocolate today. I haven't had chocolate, like a chocolate bar, in a long time, because it's been like 2 weeks without real food. Speaking of real food, we had chicken tonight. Hey guys, how much chicken? Oh, you both had pork. They both had pork. So I got a drumstick and like a thigh. The breast is missing. I sent out a search party and I'm like, hello, chicken breast. Anybody? Chicken breast? It was literally like an ounce and a half of chicken. So I'm looking forward to getting home and having a full Jared meal.
A giant chicken just for yourself.
No, just a full meal. It would be very nice to have that.
Cooking with Jared, part 2 from Africa.
Yeah. Anyway, do you know how much an elephant's penis on average weighs?
120 pounds.
No. It weighs 50 pounds, which is 49 pounds and 15 ounces more than me. And that was mystery. That's what Mystery Man had to say. That was Mystery Man's joke right there.
That was a good one.
Yeah. But anyway, let me talk about how these days work, because we go out usually around 6 in the morning. We get onto the vehicles. The vehicle, which is like a Land Cruiser with the sides open, and we can cruise the land with it. I sit in the back row, so I have a whole row to myself in the back, but I'm also up higher. The other guys, there's 2 in the middle and 2 in the front, and then you have a spotter and a driver. But we go out at 6 and we don't get back till lunchtime, or lunch is at 1, so we're out until 12:30 just about every day. You're in the car for 6.5 hours perusing around the conservancies, because we can go off-road here.
So what time are the animals the most active?
Well, it depends what type of animal it is, because one day we went out and by 6:30 something, we got to a hyena standing off with a wildebeest. And the wildebeest did not last very much longer. It's insane. We got there for the kill. It was crazy because we got there for basically the beginning. What happens is they got the wildebeest separated, and then there were 2 hyenas. One is just standing back, and the other goes in and it dips and dodges and dives for like its back hind leg area, because it tries to cut the tendon. If it can cut the tendon, then it can't walk.
Can't move.
And then at that point, it's just a balancing act.
Yeah.
No, it keeps trying to gore them, but then the second one gets in, then they take it down, and then they yell out, getting at the hyena call.
The plan is just to tire him out, right? And then they all just jump in.
They don't tire it out. They try to take it down. They try to bite the balls off. They go right for the nuts. And then the other one goes for the side. And then they took it down. And then once they took it down, and the 5 and 6 of them, they start eating them from the butthole in, because it's the softest part. The thing is still living while they're eating it from the inside
screaming in
out.
agony? Like, what is it doing?
It really wasn't. Did it make a lot of noise?
What was that?
If you could, that's the wildebeest sound. That no, it wasn't funny. I wasn't feeling like I felt bad, and then as soon as the thing was dead, then you're like, okay, it's dead now.
You sent me the before and after of the original hyena, like doing the first bite. At the end of the sequence, you see the hyena's running off with like just its head.
That was just the head being run off with.
How long did that go for?
It was roughly 30 minutes till,
Wow.
well, the whole thing was like 45 minutes, but once they get the thing down and eat it, it's like 25 minutes, 30 minutes till the thing's gone. But what's crazy,
I can't believe they eat that much that quick.
dude, there was like 8 rabid like hyenas there.
Wow.
And so what's even crazier is 2, good night, mystery man.
Night.
What's even crazier is that 2 lions came running towards them, and usually lions aren't going to do this unless they're super hungry. So it was 2 female lions, and they get there, and the buzzards go away, and the hyenas scram off for a minute. But the hyenas are like, fuck you, lions. So the lions were eating a little bit. It scared one of them away, but the one that was super hungry kept trying to eat. And then the hyenas were like nipping at its tail and its hind legs until, and I have video of this because I started taking video at this portion where the thing was like growling. It's really good video. And then they finally scared it away. And then the hyenas went to town to finish it off. But there's 77 photos in the sequence I took. Face deep inside with blood and everything. It's a thing. Like it's a you know, there's a quote that I said that I didn't know I said this, but Matt said that he only remembers me saying, "How do you even compose for this?"
Seriously,
I guess is what I said during the thing.
it's a good point.
What's even more crazy, unfortunately, I didn't have the Insta360 Ace Pro on the side of the car. I had it on the front because I was doing a time lapse and running the battery.
Sure.
But you can see part of the standoff at the beginning with them circling on the footage, and you can hear the entire thing. So we have the audio that you can run over the photos if we decide to do that. You have the full audio. It's insane.
Yeah, but it just makes it way worse listening to the audio on top of that.
It does, but it's nature, because you also have to think that this
Circle
one
of life.
animal that was taken down and killed just fed 30 different, animals.
Like I said, circle of life. Yeah, that's oof.
So
Rough to watch.
it was rough to watch initially because I felt bad for the damn thing. But like I said, once it was down and dead, you're like, all right, now it's food. So anyway, we're in the car for 6 hours in the morning. We're in the car for 3 to 4 hours in the evening. We've been going out around 3 o'clock, and then we get back 6:30, 6:45, close to 7, depending on how the light is, how the weather is, because it's been raining up here a little bit. But you're out. You're in the car 10 hours doing this stuff, and it's mostly sitting on your ass because you're in a vehicle. Oh, I got scared by a lion. Was that today? That was today. Holy shit! This big male lion guy. I have the 360 footage of it so you could see my reaction. The thing grazed the side of the back of the vehicle.
Oh wow!
Because it was walking right towards it. That's what happens. They're walking right towards you, and then they graze, and they ignore you because what they see is a big vehicle. Now, if you were to stick your head out, oh shit! They're showing me a great picture right now. Can you bring that closer? Because I can't see that far. I missed it. I missed this shot. It's a zebra banging another zebra.
That was a shot you wanted.
Is it in there? Holy, what is going on? She's like, what's that sound like, Nick? Nick, what's the sound going on in that photo? What a photo.
Like a
I missed
donkey.
that photo. I didn't react quick enough to get the zebra. It was finishing just as I got there. When zebras ejaculate, do you know what flavor it is? Yipe Stripes fruit stripe gum.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, unfortunately I missed that zebra shot, but it's okay because that zebra didn't miss the shot himself. He got all of it. There's lots of sex going on out here between the lions and and other animals. Not to get, there's no interracial, interspecies sex going on that I've seen as of yet, but it might have happened behind the rock a few times. There might have been some interesting things. But from a photo standpoint, let's talk about the photography aspect here. It's been really interesting to have the 100 to 300, and Matt, who's a Sony shooter, just can't wrap his head around the 100 300. I don't need a 100 300. I got a 300. 300 2.8 is enough. I don't need, why would I do that? And it's just, I think he's just hoping that one day Sony comes out with that lens. But the Sony 300 is tremendous, but having that extra leeway from 1 to 3 is tremendous. And the 400 2.8's been really good. I've used that quite a bit. And I don't think I would want a 600 f4 out here for the places where we can get off-road, because we can get pretty close. That a 400 is fine. But then when the animals are walking towards you, it's nice to have the 1 to 3. But I will say that the 24 to 105 2.8 has come in handy, because most people sleep on the wide angles and the primes. Jason's using a 135 1.8 prime on his Sony. That's come in handy sometimes. I use the 85 1.2 for the elephant shot that I got. And that wide angle of the cheetah that I have, where the sun is beautiful on the cheetah right before the sun goes away because a thunderstorm is coming in. That's a tremendous photo at 24 millimeters. And so I think a lot of people sleep on the fact that you can get beautiful wide vista images, like I did with this leopard photo today. A beautiful vista. It's like a Windows Vista screensaver.
Yeah.
It is. It's just like Windows Vista. It really is.
Or would that be like Windows XP, actually?
That was Windows XP?
Yeah, Windows XP.
It wasn't Vista. That's right. It's XP. Yeah, I mean, the shooting's been good. You don't miss, the funny thing is you don't miss autofocus anymore. I said that to the guys. I'm like, isn't it crazy that nothing is out of focus? Like for us, I mean, I didn't ask Nick.
What
He has
about
a
the Nikon
Z9. Yeah, Nick, how many out of focus shots you been getting?
All of them.
Not too many.
He's saying not too many. I don't believe him.
No. I've been having to change
Oh.
focus modes multiple times back and forth with the way that I'm shooting, which we discussed.
Yeah, so what Nick is saying is the same thing that Greg says at the Who Shoots Sports, that it's a dance. You're changing focusing modes all the time to try to find the one that actually works in a scene.
That's like every Nikon video we do. It's always, you're in the wrong mode. You should have been in this mode. You should have been in that. Even though Nikon themselves told us to be in those exact modes for that.
No, exactly.
Scene.
It's just a Nikon thing. We know that we know for a fact, because we're the only ones in the world who use all three systems more than other people, that it's, and I'm not here to bash on it, because the pictures come out great. So if I was to come out here again, I have to decide what I would end up taking. I think I would focus a little more on primes. I wouldn't bring the 10 to 20. That's worthless. I would probably bring a 135 1.8 to play with. But I've been happy with the selection. I really have been happy with the selection.
I forgot you didn't bring the 135.
I didn't, because fuck you, Bug. I didn't, because I have the 100 to 300, and I'm like, I want to take the 85, which I haven't really used that often. But in the future, I would probably do that a little different. But I'm thinking of making some prints and doing some giveaways, and or also selling a couple prints. People want that cheetah print really bad.
Pretty badass picture.
Yeah, but the problem is that I send you both. I didn't see that I have two different looks. One where the cheetah is looking.
Are you talking about the one where he's like posing for you, right? That one?
Not on a hill. No, it's the storm one with the blue sky.
Okay, that one too.
It's the first picture on my Instagram right now. What, you didn't even check it?
You sent me two cheetah photos. I didn't know which one you were talking about. The one where he's like posing and it's vertical, and then there's the one where it's the sky behind him. That's about the
there's
downpour.
that, but there's a second version of the one with the sky.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So I have a second version with the one with the sky, where the safari vehicle is further away in the back, so you barely see it. Some people have said that they liked the safari vehicle off to the side. They kind of liked that it was there.
I think I like it there, yeah.
So when I see, but I'm holding out judgment until I get to the big display at home, and then make a couple of prints to decide what I do. But I'll probably put it up for sale and let people buy it. Speaking of buying things, I'm debating. We were talking about this. Do I run a safari trip to Kenya to run this experience for people? And it would be probably anywhere between $6,000 and $7,000-ish, $8,000, plus you have to pay for your own airfare. But it would be for a group of probably 8 shooters, maybe. So two there would be 5 in each vehicle. I'll be a teacher and I'll bring another teacher in. And of course we'll rotate around. So there would probably be 8 people because you only want 5 people in a vehicle so that there's room to move. Would anybody be interested in that? You could text us. I'd be curious to hear about that. Yes, it's expensive. You're paying for the experience to be on the trip. You're also paying to be around me because I'm very expensive.
Would it be a 2-week trip?
No. We would probably do a 7-day. Well, what did we say? Like 7 nights, guys? Like 7 nights. And then that's like 9 total days because you got to get here and get home. But no, not 2 weeks because we know, like I have a general idea where we would go after being to all of the different camps that we've been to now. We've made a bunch of different stops and I think we know what we would want to do. And it would be a fun experience for people. So I am debating doing that, running a trip out here with me and another shooter, and there would be critiquing and there would be going out and shooting, and depending on what cameras you have, maybe we have extra glass, maybe we don't. But I mean, it's a long way to go to get here, but it's one of those things when you have like right before we came in here on our last drive, it was pouring. There were 13 lions and we were 20 feet away from the 13 sleeping lions in the rain. There was 2 males and the rest were lionesses, wow. Females. Well, actually there might've been some male cubs that were adolescents who are still, they're not cubs, they're adolescents. But the fact that these things, did the cheetah scare the shit out of me yesterday too because it touched the vehicle in the back?
Not as badly as it scared Matt, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Two baby cheetahs, cubs, ran under our vehicle, full speed, playing.
There was like 5 of them, right? They looked adorable.
Well, there were 5 cubs in the one camp and 4 cubs in this camp with a different mother.
Wow.
Yeah, no, they're pretty playful. They're just like cats.
Yeah,
they are
giant cats. How big is an actual cheetah in person? Like, would you say it's bigger than you?
No. Cheetahs are probably the 5, like head to toe.
If you put it next to a lioness, much smaller or same size?
Cheetahs are more svelte because they're slim and they can run. So they're a different shape.
more length. Like, how long are they?
I think cheetahs are long, slender. Yeah, they're slender and long.
Yeah,
like that's that. But a male lion could be like 700 pounds.
Wow,
they're big. Yeah. And we saw hippopotamuses in the water too. Those things are big, and they could kill you. More people die from those every year out here because they either someone steps in the water and don't know they're there, and what they do is they like basically can cut you in half with their mouth, or they'll just take you under and kill you. Because that's what they do.
Is it to eat you or just protecting themselves?
No, they don't eat you. They just cut you in half. No, they're just like, get out of my way. Move, bitch. Get out my way.
Wow. So are you officially done now? Or do you have one more morning?
Yeah. No, we don't have a morning drive. Our private plane, when I say private plane, it's like Air Kenya. The reason it's private is because we bought, each of us have an extra seat for our gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, extra seat for our gear. So they changed our flight from 11:45 to 8:15 a.m. So we've got to get to the airstrip. We leave at 7 to get there in time. And then we fly back to Nairobi, where we have a day room, which means it's a hotel room that we hang out in because we don't check out we don't fly until 11:45, which reminds me, we got to check in for our flights at some point, right? Which I guess we'll do in the morning. Anybody worried about? I guess we'll do it in the morning.
What time do you actually land back in the States, back in Pennsylvania?
Philly?
Yeah.
I think 1 p.m. on the 8th.
So Friday, 1 p.m.
Friday. I leave Thursday. Tomorrow I leave here at night, and then we go back in time. Back in time.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been backing up my gear, my files. I shot with the,
knock on wood, no memory card failures, nothing, no SSDs.
No, man, stop. Don't even bring that shit up.
Well, if it hasn't happened now, you're fine.
Yeah, but one of the Samsung drives doesn't mount for me, which is, we were worried about the SanDisk drives, and it's the one of the 2 Samsungs doesn't mount, and it mounts on occasion, but I can't get it to mount every time. So,
and it's not the cable or anything, right?
No, because the cable works with every other thing.
Weird.
So I have to get that taken care of, but I have 2 other backups, and everything's still on the memory cards. So I didn't reformat any of the camera cards. Just the Ace Pro, I reformatted that thing once after backing it up. 360, I backed up.
Were there any other crazy shots that you had to try and get this time? Like, monopod holding down, trying to get low, using the Camera Connect app. or just straight up like from the vehicle shooting like normal?
Yeah, I stopped doing the monopod thing. It's a pain in the ass. I did it with the elephants, and I got one good shot that is good with Kilimanjaro.
What about the opposite, like monopod in the sky, drone-like?
No, no monopod in the sky.
Is there any drones? Are they allowed there? Like, what about drones?
You'd have to get special permission to do drones. We didn't do any of that.
That's got to be a really unique, like certain hard shadows.
Oh yeah, that stuff would look good, especially with like a hyena kill from straight up above it,
literally straight
looking
up
down.
Yeah,
looking down. That would be pretty nuts. I think I've had a good time. It's been a long trip. I mean, I was ready to go home a couple days ago. I mean, it gets monotonous. You eat the same food.
Sure.
You're around the same people. These guys, I don't want to be around them anymore. I'm just kidding. No, everything's been good. Everybody's been great. It's been fun to go out there. It's a challenge because you don't know what you're going to face, right? You have to react quickly. You have to, settings aren't hard, right? You select the settings that you select, which is for the proper exposure, and what they are is what they are.
I notice you pretty much are wide open all the time. Do you ever think about stopping down for these landscape type shots like F8, F11?
No, I stopped down for like one shot at some point. I don't know if it was giraffes that I was shooting or something, but no, I shoot wide open. I just do. It just.
Well, I would think too, like 5.6 to f8 is probably the sweet spot for most of those lenses too.
I don't believe in sweet spot of fucking lenses. I think that is an old school fucking mentality.
Do a test.
Now fuck that. No.
Do a test.
Because it's going to look like shit at f8.
No, and then you'll realize, wow, it looks great.
Yeah, but the sweet spot debate was something that mattered in the 80s, and it's some bullshit that some bullshit person, probably like Ken Rockwell, perpetuated for years, talking about the sweet spot of a lens. Like, it's stupid. It's bullshit. It's like all those old adages that people talk about, like using exposure compensation when shooting auto ISO. It's like, well, why didn't you just expose it? Why don't you just manually expose it?
I don't think it's old school, though. I think there is still a sweet spot for lenses. It's softer at 1.8. It is. Anytime I do a Christmas photo or any type of family portrait, I usually do an f8 stop down one, then I'll do a wide open one, and it's always night and day in terms of sharpness.
Well, that's because you're getting more depth, so it's going to give you the perception of sharpness.
Critical sharpness, I'm talking about.
I don't know, man. I'm sure people can talk about these debates all day long. Here's what I care about. Going out and taking pictures and not overanalyzing bullshit like people do on the internet. Because all the photographers here, we're here to shoot. I mean, I don't know about you, but there is a person on this trip that is shooting raw medium in an A1.
Wow.
Raw, but he's raising his hand.
Throw him off the trip.
Raw medium.
I'm sorry, but why? Just why?
Yeah, why?
What's the benefit?
Yeah, you made that. Oh shit! He just showed me the zebra shot he made.
But what's the benefit? You have the card space. Your camera shoots fast enough.
Size.
It's bullshit. Don't tell him I said that, but it's bullshit. To each their own. No, he's got an A1. I don't know. My thoughts. You can never dumb it up. You can always dumb it down.
I agree.
But part of the problem is he's shooting Sony, and those cards are fucking expensive and don't have enough space on them.
And not as fast as a CF Express B.
Yeah, I put the 512 Pro Grade card in today, and transferring that stuff to the computer is so fast.
That's the 4.0 protocol. It's like 3,000 megabytes write and read, right?
2400. But that card is probably cheaper than a 160 Sony CF Express A card.
Yeah.
Hey, if you were shooting CF Express B cards and they were less expensive and had more storage, would you be shooting RAW large?
Or is it more for long-term storage at home?
Maybe.
He said maybe.
So you're saying it's only for size and storage on the actual memory card, not so much long-term storage at home.
I don't know what it is. You'll have to ask him. He's weird. He learned from me.
He's weird.
No, he's not weird. No, but guess what? People call me Jason on this trip. These people, I'm like, that's my brother. Again, it's my brother.
Why are they calling you Jason? They clearly don't watch
because there's a Jason on the trip.
Because you say your name every time.
I say Jared, but it happens.
J-Rob?
It happens. I didn't get a Kenyan name.
Yo, Fro knows.
Do you guys get Kenyan names? Did you guys get Kenyan names? No Kenyan names. So anyway, I got to pack all my gear. Actually, I do have to pack all my gear tonight. I have to pack it all because we're getting out in the morning, and then it's a long day of waiting till we take off.
It seems like you had a pretty successful, fun trip, right?
Yeah, I had a fun trip. I had a good time. And you know me, I don't usually say I have a good time. So if I say I have a good time, that means that I had a good time. No, I mean, it was good. It's a little long, 2 weeks, but you know, all in all, we got what we got. We didn't really have days where we didn't come back with
nothing,
at least a solid go around of something.
Good.
You know, like yesterday we went out and we got or 2 days ago, I think it was at this point, the cheetah with her cubs, and she got a kill, right? She got an impala. And so it just seems like, and today we went, dude, today was the worst, to be honest with you. We didn't all agree. We actually weren't even asked. We ended up chasing after a leopard, right? Leopards are super hard to find. There's like 2 over in this, 3 in this conservancy. We couldn't find any of them in the last day and a half, but they got word that there was one all the way over there. 3-hour drive. It was like a 2.5 hour drive, you know, because you got to go through other parks and you got to go through some towns. And we got there and there's a leopard in the tree. So we at least got to get the leopard and a picture of the leopard in the tree, and then had to go all the way back. So yeah, we burned a lot of the day being out there. But the good news is we didn't end up missing anything over here. The only thing we did miss was a lion chasing a hippo, and it was trying to smack it on the ass, and it didn't take it down. But that would have been interesting. That would have been a huge kill, because they would have tried to feed on that, and then hyenas would have come in to try to steal it, and then buzzards would have come in. It would have been a whole thing.
So it sounds like a pretty solid trip overall. How's the weather? You had a little bit of everything, it seems, right?
No, I mean, we've had some cold, we've had some wind, and we've had some pouring.
More rain, sun.
It's mostly been rain and overcast. Really? We the only rain we had were the last 2 days here.
It doesn't really look like that in the photos, besides that one cheetah
Well, those
shot.
were huge thunder. That was a huge thunderstorm that rolled through. That was a huge deluge.
Yeah, I believe it.
But all in all, we went out each day. We all came back with stuff. Even the Nikon guy came back with stuff each time we went out. So that's good. Mystery Man did pretty good.
Yeah, good.
Mystery Man, I had to give him some tips here and there, which is cool because he's asking for tips from everybody, which is good.
Good, yeah.
It's kind of funny though.
You're all learning from each other.
Yep, we all do. We all are, you know, seeing what each other does and getting different ideas. And like when the people were shooting the leopard today, they were mostly shooting 400. So I went with the 100 to 300 to get a different perspective. I wish I would have. I'm going to post this picture, but I wish I would have gotten so I got the leopard in the tree, but he was only there for about 84 seconds in a certain spot that would have looked cool to do the 24 millimeter Vista shoot.
Wow.
I'll send it to you after we're done this show, and you'll see it.
Very cool, man. Well, I think next week we'll be back to the normal show. You know, you'll be back home. We won't be talking about Africa as much, but yeah, I wanted to let you do your thing and talk about Africa.
You had Dan doing Photo News Fix, right?
Oh yeah, we did that today actually. Right before I got home, minutes before we started the podcast. That was fun. Took a good hour to record Photo News Fix, which takes you a good 10, 15 minutes.
12 minutes. It takes me 12 minutes to record Photo News Fix.
I'm sorry, that matters a lot.
Took Dan an hour to try and read a script off of it.
Well, at first I was like, I don't know, man. Do I really need to come in just to run the teleprompter? Like, you can kind of do it yourself. Jared does it himself.
You needed to.
And I definitely needed to, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I wrote the script for all of you wondering, and I put the self-deprecating humor in there myself, and I write the jokes, and I'm sure Steven
we make it very clear that you wrote the script, and you know, anytime I would direct Dan, I'd be like, you know, say a little more animated, be a little more animated, and he would do it that way, and it was definitely much better with me helping out and just kind of being like producing him for the most part. But yeah, I think he did a good job, you know, as much as he didn't want to do it, and I really didn't want to do it. I like being behind the camera, not so much in front. But yeah, that will be coming out hopefully tomorrow afternoon. Well, actually, by the time this is out, it'll be out. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. I guess I have to shower. I have to pack my bags, call my dad, call my brother, and that's it from Black Lung of Kenya. It was a fun trip. So I thank you guys for listening to these. They're a little different than they normally are because this time of year is not a lot of gear to talk about anyway. So hopefully you find it enjoyable. But I'll be back, hopefully stateside tomorrow, Friday. All right, Steven, I'm going to wrap it up. Safari Jared signing off. What is it, 79 or 80? Do you remember? This is 80. This is 80, yes. I think it's 80. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening to Frono's Photo RAWtalk, episode number 80. I'm going to go do what I need to do. Jared, Polin, Frono'sPhoto.com. See ya. Bye.